there came a time in my life when I go for practice session, as a bass player, I go to practice, or I want to practice. I don't know what to practice. Even if I go to practice, when to practice, I don't know. At times I go and spend almost an hour at a practice session, and I came out, and within me, I know what I practice, I didn't even do anything, and I didn't get the right result I want in my practice. So I decided to take a course under one of the professionals, and that has opened my mind to some of the secrets that these professional bass players use whenever they want to practice, so they can use few minutes to achieve great results in whatever they are trying to do. Is that okay? So in this lesson, I'll be teaching you some of these secrets that you can also use whenever you go in your practice session, you go to practice, you can use to achieve great results. There are secrets. If you don't know these secrets, you can go into your rehearsal session, spend 2 hours, a whole 2 hours or 3 hours, and you will not be able to achieve anything. You ask yourself, what have I rehearsed? You don't know what you have rehearsed, and your achievement will be zero. So in this lesson, I'll be teaching you some of these secrets of these professionals that will go a long way to help you in your career as a bass player. Alright, let's get into the lesson. Now, the first thing you need to know is that there is a great difference between rehearsals and practice. Some of us, we always mix these two together. We classify them to be the same, but they are never the same. Rehearsals is when you go to practice whatever you know already, you go over it again. Is that okay? For instance, you are going to practice rehearse on Saturday for Sunday ministration. But practice is a different thing on its own. Practice is where you go and learn new things. You challenge yourself to learn new things. Is that okay? So after studying this secret, or understanding some of these professionals, I've come to realize that whenever they approach their practice session, there are things they consider before they practice, and during the practice session too, there are things they consider. So I have broken this into two, and the first one is what? Pre-practice. The second one is what? The main practice. Okay, so for the pre-practice, there are the preparations, or the things you need to consider, things you need to know before you go into your practice session. Then in the main practice are the do's and don'ts, things you need to do, things you don't need to do as a bass player. Now let's take them one after the other. Let's start with what? The pre-practice. Now the first thing you need to know is what? The first item on the list is what? When to practice. Most of us are part-time musicians. If you are a full-time musician, for you have a whole lot of time to practice. Is that okay? But if you are a part-time musician or a part-time bass player, it means that maybe you'll be going to work. After work, you need to come back and practice. Now, how do you allocate time for this, for your work, and also allocate time for your practice session? That is the most important thing. Now, I'll leave this question to you. Drop it in the comment section. When do you think is the right time for a musician to practice, or a bass player to practice? Kindly drop your answers in the comment section for others to learn from you. Now, for me, after studying this secret from these great guys, the first thing is what? If you are a part-time musician, what you need to know is that you go to work, and normally after you are back from work, you are very tired. Okay, so what I normally do is what? I will rest after work, then at midnight I'll rest, then at midnight I'll wake up and rehearse. The reason why I am choosing midnight is that some of you are married, and when you come back to work, from work, you need to pay attention to the kids, your wife, and the rest. Is that okay? So during those times, you will not be able to get time to rehearse or to practice. Is that okay? Now, the second one is, let's say, for instance, maybe your work, you normally close at late in the night, let's say 8, 9, 10. Is that okay? So when you come back, you'll be very tired. So you need to sleep, relax before you practice. Is that okay? Then most of us, we don't have combos. Is that okay? So if you don't have a bass combo, what you need to do is what? Maybe in the midnight, when there is no noise, when there's no much noise, you just, let's say 12, 1, 2, thereabouts. Okay, there's no noise. Over there, you can have your own time and rest. Because when you are playing by then, because you are not using a gong, so when you are playing by then, you'll be able to hear yourself well, because there is no noise, the whole place is quiet. Is that okay to do? That's all. When to practice, know when to practice. Now I can't choose the right time for you. You have to know the right time for you to practice. Is that okay? But it is good to have a time, to allocate time for your practice session. So that's the first one. Now the second thing that these great guys or professional bass players understand is what sacrifice. Now you need to understand the meaning of sacrifice in this pre-practice stage. Now let me explain it this way. Let me send it to the biblical perspective. When mankind sinned and God decided to bring Jesus Christ to come and die for our sins, the Bible said it got to a time when Jesus was like he was feeling the pain, and he decided to give up. So he prayed to God and asked God to take this cup away from him, but not his will, but the will of the Father. That is what pain, that is sacrifice. It means sacrifice is pain. Now there's a saying that no pain, no gain. That statement is very, very true. Sacrifice goes with blood. It means there is pain. You need to sacrifice something to achieve whatever you want. Is that okay? Another scenario I'll give you from the Bible is what when David decided to count the Israelites. Is that okay? And he didn't receive an instruction from God, and God decided to punish him. After the punishment, a prophet came to him and asked him to go and sacrifice unto God, that he should go for a threshing floor and an oxen to sacrifice for God. So when he went there, the man he went to is called Arana. Is that okay? So Arana decided to give him the threshing floor for free and the oxen for free for the sacrifice. But David, understanding the meaning of sacrifice, what sacrifice means, decided to buy the piece of land with his money. He said, no, I will buy it with a price. And he said, I will not sacrifice burnt offering to the Lord with anything that will not cost me. Is that okay? That cost me means sacrifice, it means pain. And the Bible said after David has bought the threshing floor, bought the oxen and sacrificed, God decided to answer his prayers by taking the plague away. Okay? So it means sacrifice goes with pain. Sacrifice goes with pain. Now let's bring it into the cycle of music or the cycle of practice. Now you need to sacrifice your time. If you don't sacrifice your time, you can't get a great result. Sacrificing your time means that when others are sleeping, you are awake practicing. When others are snoring, you are awake practicing. You feel sleepy, but at times you need to maybe you get a coffee or Lipton, you take it for you not to sleep. That is sacrifice. Is that okay? So first you need to sacrifice your time. At times if I want to talk about sacrifice, another one to maybe you started learning a skill. As you are learning the skill, it got to a point that maybe like you wanted to give up because you are not getting anything. But you tell yourself it is a sacrifice. You need to sacrifice. At times you'll be playing a skill and your fingers will be reacting. Your fingers, you'll be feeling pains. But you tell yourself, no pain, no gain. So at times, some musicians, if you go into their studio room, they write it on the wall, no pain, no gain. Things like that motivate you. So sacrifice is pain. You need to sacrifice your time, sacrifice your energy. You need to have this at the back of your mind before you go into the practice session. If you don't understand this, you go there immediately, you start facing some challenges, you just stop everything and go to sleep. You have not achieved anything, you have achieved zero. Okay, so you need to understand that sacrifice goes with pain. Sacrifice, even in current time, sacrifice goes with blood. Is that okay? It goes with pain. You need to sacrifice your time, your energy. Alright, now after that, the next thing you need to consider before you enter into your practice session, which is the pre-practice stage, is what to practice. Now, have you ever prepared a food without planning what you use to prepare the food? Let's say you want to prepare rice. First you need to plan. You need to know the amount you have to be able to prepare the rice. To buy the rice, buy your tomatoes, buy your oil, buy the fish. You need to plan. You can't go into a practice session without knowing what you are going to practice. In fact, you go to the practice session and you will not achieve anything. You achieve zero. So you need to know what you are going to practice. Now over here, what these great guys do is they have a timetable for themselves. Now in the main practice, I will explain this further, but let me say something short about it. Now, Some of you, I know on your practice sheet now, you have a whole lot of things. Monday you have what you practice. Maybe you practice arpeggios. Tuesday you practice modes. Thursday you practice a major scale, minor scale. Let me tell you, as you are watching me now, there has not been a day that you are able to follow that timetable to the end. If your answer is yes, that you are following it to the end, it's a lie. You have never followed that timetable to the end. Is that okay? Why? I've been there before. There was a time where on my practice sheet I have Monday praise and worship, Tuesday moods, Thursday major scale, Friday minor scale, and the rest. And in fact, I have not been able to achieve all that within a week. Now, why am I saying this? There is a better way to give yourself a timetable. Why am I saying this? Now, there are some skills that will take you longer hours or longer days. It will take you weeks or months before you'll be able to get them. So if you try to put, let's say, arpeggios on Monday, will you be able to achieve the result you want to get from arpeggios? Will you be able to know the arpeggios, how to apply them and when to apply them? No. Is that okay? So what our advice is, you get maybe some of the skills, you give it 1 full week, you use 1 week to practice them. I cannot give you a timetable, but you need to know the timetable for yourself. Now what I will let you know is that some of the skills and the techniques takes a longer time to know them. Is that okay? So for instance, if I want to learn modes, let's say this month I want to learn modes, or this week I want to learn modes. First thing to know is what? I will think about what? I will learn the theory aspect of the mode. Second one, I will learn the mode itself. The third one, I will learn the application. Then the fourth one, I will learn to use them at the right time in a song. Is that okay? So you need to get a timetable, but never have a timetable. Never do it on daily basis. In fact, you never achieve anything. It should be monthly or weekly. Is that okay? Depending on your abilities. All right. So all these three are for all the pre-practice. They are the things you need to consider before you go into the practice session. If you don't apply this, if you don't get this at the back of your mind, you will never achieve your result, the needed result you need in your practice session. Now let's get into the main practice. Now when you get into the main practice, there is one thing that you need to consider. You need to avoid distraction. Why am I saying this? If you read the book of Luke 9:62, the Bible says Jesus was calling his disciples. So there was a time he called one and they were giving excuses. And Jesus said, no man lays his hand on a plow. Any man that lays his hand on a plow and looks back is not fit for the kingdom. Why is Jesus saying that? That is what distraction. Most of us, we go into the practice section and we have our phones on, data is on, you'll be there, you'll be practicing, then a message will come, you attend to the message, you stop practicing, you attend to the message, then you come back, a call will come, maybe a call from your girlfriend. I know you have a girlfriend. A call will come from your girlfriend, you attend to the call, that will take you 20 or 30 minutes, then you come back, a call will come from your mother, that will take a whole, maybe an emergency can happen. Now, the best thing to do is what? To put your phone on a flight mode, avoid distraction. That's why I prefer to rehearse at midnight. You avoid distraction. Everybody is asleep, people are snoring, but you are awake. Is that okay? So avoid distraction. Avoid distraction. After the practice session, you can go back, you can go and what? And attend to the calls or attend to the messages. Okay, so make sure, try your possible best to avoid distraction. It is important to avoid distraction. Okay. Now, the next thing you need to look at is what? The finger exercise. Before you practice, there is one thing you need to do, is to practice your fingering, your finger exercise. You know, without a good fingering, you will not be able to play the licks, the skills others are playing or the professionals are playing. So our advice, let's say for instance, you would like to practice for 30 minutes. Let's see how we can achieve a great result using these 30 minutes. Is that okay? Now, in these 30 minutes, I can decide to use 5 minutes to practice my finger exercises. Is that okay? Now, never practice your finger exercise without a metronome. Is that okay? If you practice without a metronome, in fact, you'll never get the result you want. You need to practice with a metronome. Is that okay? So, let's say you are using 30 minutes. So I can decide to use 5 minutes for the finger exercise and then 25 minutes for what I want to learn. Now let's choose a topic. Let's say we would like to learn about triads. Is that okay? Triads. So you can choose to use 5 minutes for the finger exercise. Okay, let's try something on it and see how it will. Okay, so as I said, you need to avoid distraction. This is what the main practice is. That you avoid distraction. The next thing is what? To consider what to practice your finger exercises. So I will advise you don't practice too much finger exercises in one practice session. Choose one, master it well, make sure the speed is accurate. So whenever you are using the metronome, try to increase the speed ahead of your own speed, your own finger speed. If the metronome speed is the same as your own finger speed, my brother, you never achieve anything. Your finger speed will still remain the same. So you increase the metronome speed ahead of your finger speed and try to catch up. So whenever you catch up, you try to increase it. Is that okay? That's what you do. Now, let me use this opportunity to teach you one finger exercise that you can practice whenever you want to start practicing. So let's choose this finger exercise. It's a chromatic scale. Is that okay? So it's like this. So that one you are going to learn how to separation of the fingers. Is that okay? Sorry, don't mind that noise. That's a noise from a motorbike. Alright, so you need to learn the separation. So that's a it's a chromatic scale. So you play the first note with this finger, then the second note you play with your pinky, the third one you start from what? The middle finger and the ring finger. Exactly. So you do this till you get to the down. Is that okay? So something like that. Okay, so when you get here, you shift to the next fret. Okay, this is not a lesson for finger exercise, so I'm just trying to give you an example. So you do this until you get to the bottom. You know your bass have been divided into two sections, so until you get here, which is until you get here. Is that okay? When you get here too, you need to go back. You need to let the brain know that you are not going one direction, but you are going in two directions. So when you are going back, you start your note from this one, your pinky, then this finger will take the second note, the third note will start from the ring finger, and the last one will come to the middle finger. So you go like this. Okay, so then you shift. So I'll drop a link to this finger exercise. Okay, so you use 5 minutes to do this. Okay, you can do this. Now, what I would advise is, you need to endure. At times, it will get to a time that maybe you'll be feeling pains, but don't stop. Continue. If you continue, that is what endurance. Your left fingers must be strong for you to play a lot of good, get a clean note or cleaner notes. Is that okay? So endure the pressure. Is that okay? And that is what sacrifice. You sacrifice your energy or your body. Is that okay? Good. So that's about the finger exercise. After you have what? You know the finger exercise to use. The next thing is what? To challenge yourself. You need to challenge yourself. Challenge yourself. Don't go into a practice session and practice whatever you already know. That is what we call rehearsals. You are rehearsing. You challenge yourself. Is that okay? Challenging yourself is what? Learning a new topic. Learning something new, something that you don't know anything about. That is how you challenge yourself. Is that okay? It helps you to improve. It helps you to improve. So you don't go and practice whatever you know already. No, please. Challenge yourself. Is that okay? So you challenge yourself by choosing topics that are difficult. Is that okay? You work on them. So if you realize that a week will not be okay for you, you use what? A whole month. Is that okay? Forget about the other topics. Make sure you know the technique well. And you'll be able to apply. If you are able to apply it, it means learning has taken place. Is that okay? Yeah, so you challenge yourself. So after you know that you need to challenge yourself, you challenge yourself by what? Picking what? A topic that is difficult. a topic like triads. Is that okay? So in this lesson, I would like to use triads. Is that okay? To use for my practice session. So after using 5 minutes for my lessons, for my finger exercise, the rest 25 minutes will be for the triads. It means that I don't know much, I don't have much knowledge about the triads, so I want to go deeper. So that's when you structure your timetable on weekly basis. It means the whole week you are going to learn about triads. Is that okay? Now you choose a topic. So in the pre-practice, you have to know what you are going to practice. Is that okay? So it is in the main practice, the pre-practice, that you choose the topic you are going to practice. So in my pre-practice, I've decided to choose the topic triads. Is that okay? Triads. Now when you come to triads, you can learn, triads is a very vast topic. You can't learn a whole triads within a session. No. You never achieve anything. So that's why your timetable must not be on daily basis. It can be on weekly basis or monthly basis. Is that okay? So you can decide to do it this way. Okay, this week I am working on triads, but on Monday I will learn about the theory on triads. Tuesday I will learn about the practical. That's learning about the major triad and the minor triad. Know how to play them, know their shapes. On Wednesday you can decide to know how to play the triads across the board. You can play them in different positions. You learn them. On Thursday, you learn the application. How do you apply them? Is that okay? How do you apply them in a song? Then on Friday, you try to choose a song that you try to inculcate the triad you have learned into the songs. You see, any knowledge you acquired without applying it, it's never a knowledge. Is that okay? At times we say knowledge is power. Knowledge is power when you apply the knowledge you have acquired. Are you getting it? So the application is very important. So have you seen how I've divided this topic into subsessions for the week? So you realize that it is conflicting with your first timetable you used to have, where you have a topic for each day. No, you don't do that. Now let's try few things about that. So let's say the major triad. So the major triad. So on Monday you can learn the major triad. There are 3 notes chord played individually. Is that okay? You learn it. Is that okay? So let's say you know that one. Then over here I'm using the practical aspect. Is that okay? You come to the practice session. So what are triads? How do you play the major and the minor triad? The major triad are in the key of G. If this is your key of G, your major triad are. So I'll drop a link to the triads lesson so we don't waste much time. Is that okay? So you go major triad. The first one, do mi so, fa la do, so ti re. That's major. Then the rest of the notes in the major scale are minor. So you go re fa la, mi so ti, la do mi. Oh, you get it here? Sorry. Then the next one, ti re fa. Sorry. Ti re fa. Is that okay? Then you go back. So then you learn how to play the 2 all together, the major and the minor together. Let's go. I getting it. So you do all this on Tuesday, because on Monday you have learned about the theory aspect already. You know what triads are. Is that okay? On Tuesday, this is what you do. Is that okay? Now on Wednesday, what do? You learn about how to play them across the board. Let me see if I can get some for you. Okay, so you do this on Wednesday. You learn how to play it across the board, because you see, any note you play here, you can get the same note at a different position. Is that okay? So on Wednesday, you learn this. Then on Thursday, how do I apply this? Now, in your mind, you know that when you are playing fa, you can play a major triad. When you are playing mi, it's a minor triad. Is that okay? in this lesson I will not be able to do that for you, but on your own you go and study it and do that on your own. Is that okay? Then on Friday you try to what? To inculcate the triad into a song. Just pick any song at all. If you are able to apply whatever you have learned, it means learning has taken place. But if you are not able to apply it, then you need to go over again. It means learning has not taken place. Is that okay? So while you try to apply whatever you have learned in a song. So let's choose a song like He never failed me. He never failed me. Yeah. So let's So with this, what I am doing, I have learned the triads so much that I know when to apply them in a song, in any song at all. I know the time to apply them, when to apply them, and when not to apply them. Is that okay? So guys, this is one of the secrets of professionals. This is one thing they normally do. Is that okay? So in case you know the finger exercise, I would like to leave a question below. The question is, which finger exercise is the right finger exercise that can increase your speed very well, that can increase your finger speed? Your answers to this question should be dropped in the comment section. Drop your answers there for others to learn from you. Which finger exercise is the right finger exercise to increase the finger speed of a bass player? Drop your answers there, then others will also learn from you. Alright guys, don't forget to subscribe. Click on the notification bell so that you'll be notified whenever I post any new content. Alright, thank you very much. See you in the next session.